Greetings! Welcome to another edition of Black Metal and Brews. Today is day 7 of our experience with the beer camp box from Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and my personal endeavor to pair each of these beers with a tape from Colloquial Sound Recordings. And not just any tape, but each artist is only getting featured once, making this slightly more challenging and kind of giving me the fun of trying to figure out my pairings. Today's pairing, as you can see, is one of the two canned beers from the box. We have here the CANfusion Rye Bock with Oskar Blues Brewery, and the cassette tape from I will say, not necessarily classic, but one of the original, earliest released bands, Obliti, Devoravit. They were silent for a while, and they came back with this cassette, the Oblique Diversions cassette. Which, while perhaps a variant on, or even the meaning of the project's name, was a nice return for one, because it was a project I really wanted to see come back, but also, well, true to their name, a very divergent, tangential sort of release. A little off the wall, a little unpredictable, exactly the way I like things to be, with a name that implies a bit of uncertainty with the beer. I figured that this would be a good pairing. So, as always, let's get started. This cassette is, I know, still available from Colloquial Sound Recordings as of the time of filming. Only 77 copies were made, so that means there's a number of you who are just totally sleeping on it, and you shouldn't be. We're starting with the track Resonate, yes. Perhaps the most straightforward on the cassette. After this, everything just kinda goes all over the place. In many ways, I feel that this tape is the sound of kinda, I don't know, I don't want to say losing it, but maybe an inner turmoil being placed externally. It's hard to say, lyrics are not provided. The only commentary listed is that this is for those who cannot always be alone. I don't know if that means that you always have to be someone, or that you can't be alone all the time. I'm not entirely sure what the significance is, but I've enjoyed trying to figure this out. It's a really beautiful tape. So let's see. So there's a really nice kind of pineapple sort of scent, a little bit of spice, a little cinnamon or something in there with it. Nice sweet, more on the sweet tropical fruit side than the citrus side of a hoppy sort of scent. So we'll see. I've had my share of rye and bock ales, or beers, or what have you, but I don't know if I've had anything quite like this. We're gonna find out. I know Oskar Blues are known for putting all their beers in the cans, so I think it's exciting to see Sierra Nevada following in suit. Glass bottles are cool, but on an environmental level, I know a lot of breweries are starting to switch back to cans, because there's nothing wrong with canned beer. It's still beer. It's still good. That's really interesting. You get a bit of the almost a little bit of like vanilla malt flavor there, to a degree, but overall more of a bitterness and kind of slight spice kick of hops. The sweet nose makes that really interesting. So it's not just, I guess, a fusion in a can so much as it is truly confusing, which I like. In case you guys haven't noticed by my reviews, both video and written, I really like things that I can't quite put my finger on. There's a thrill of discovery for me. It's not to say the familiar's bad, But I love a new experience, and this box has provided me with a number of them. Even the ones that haven't fully captured my heart have been really interesting. This tape is absolutely a series of new sort of experiences. I hate and I use it too much, but the term psychedelic is, I will say, overused when describing things that are weird, uncertain, or just generally out there. So I don't want to say this is necessarily psychedelic, because I don't think it's meant for use with psychedelics, although who knows, do what you'd like. Oh, there's my cat talking. She likes to talk. She's got a lot to say about this too. But it's very exploratory. I don't feel that it's exploring a physically large space, but it's exploring a deep space, and not cosmic space so much as a place with a lot to discover, perhaps about yourself, or perhaps about your experience of the world. Back to the beer, you can see we've got a relatively standard, well, there's no such thing as standard, but a nice little amber body there. I like how I'm running in front of the whole thing as if, I have an audience of multiple people. The nice thing about this is you all have the front row seat. That's really... Yeah, it's really interesting how the hop cake is almost offset and really touched upon by the malt here. I feel like rather than having some hoppier beers will get a little sweeter as they go up, almost as if they've kicked the malt up to match. But here, rather than having a lot of each or something, I almost feel as if they're leaning onto and into each other here. I don't feel that this has as much in common with most other box that I've had, which is fine. It's, a different take on it. So much as there is definitely the rye note to this. It's more of a rye than anything. And gosh, it's nice. As you can see, there's just still that lightest little linger of foam at the top, although it's mostly dissipated pretty quickly. There is that kind of almost creamy mouthfeel from it. Really just nice, smooth, easy drinking, but not so easy that you would down this like water. I believe this is over 7% alcohol, so I certainly don't recommend you do as such anyway. The alcohol content in mind too, given the message of this tape not being for those alone. Beer's this strong, you might want to share. You might be Herculean, I can't tell. Your limits may be different than mine. I try not to drink too much, so this is a perfect beer for me to share, and I hope it will be enjoyable to anyone that you choose to share this with. In the spirit of sharing, I hope that if you've enjoyed this music, this video, this beer, you will pass the word of any of these along. I do this to support the artists and breweries first and foremost, but if you like what I'm doing, feel free to pass this along. I need to get better at promoting myself, because in doing so, I'm helping those that I really support. I think that's all I have for now. I hope that you guys will drink safely and happily, and I will be in touch with you tomorrow with another edition of Black Metal and Brews Goes to Beer Camp. Till then, drink safely, have fun. Cheers.